We're recapping round number 7 of the 2018 VRS GT World Championship Series. Oh, let me roll the intro. Last race, we saw the VRS Kawanda SimSport number 8 take home the win in one of the most exciting, intense battles of the season. We had a late race pass for the win with under 30 minutes remaining. It wasn't without controversy though, because a lot of people were questioning the move of deJong and the move he made on Isaac Price for the win. Both those guys were driving the wheels off their cars, so thankfully we've got them both here for this segment. We're going to get to talk to both of them to see what actually happened. So let's jump right into it. Well, Isaac, first of all, congratulations on your second place finish. Everybody wants to know though, can you talk a little bit about that final stint and how that race unfolded?
It was really close coming out of the pits for the final stint of mine when I was driving. I think me and Mitchell were basically side by side going into turn 1. And we were pretty much nose to tail the whole final stint. So he managed to get a move done on me in the hairpin.
Well, I know everybody's going to be asking, is there any hard feelings between you and Mitchell, or was that just a racing incident? Was it a clean pass? How do you feel about it?
It definitely wasn't totally clean, but I mean, I think, you know, we're racing, so to go for a move like that, I don't really have a problem with going for the dive bomb. The part that I had a problem with was the fact that in the corner before, he was 4 wheels off the track on the entry to the corner to get a better run through the corner, which is how he was close enough in the first place. That's the part, to me, that I have an issue with. And it wasn't really picked up on race spot. But to me, that basically set up the move, because if he stayed on the track, he'd be a tenth further behind, and to outbrake someone from that far back would be impossible, not risky. It would just not have been on. So, but at the same time, it's racing, people enjoyed it, it's getting people to talk on social media and discuss the race, so you have to balance it out, you know. But obviously from my own perspective, it has huge repercussions on the championship, and I'd much rather have won the race than come out second. So.
Well, that's a great way to look at it, Isaac, and can you talk a little bit about how difficult it was to pass and how that changed your strategy throughout the race?
Yeah, because I mean, Suzuka is always quite a hard track to overtake, because you've got one corner flowing onto another, which means that, you know, if you get too close to another car, you just wash out in the dirty air. But also on top of that, the slipstream coming off the last corner wasn't that powerful. You had to be really close to get a run on them, and even if you got a run on them, they could defend it. So yeah, overtaking was really tough. So it turned it very much into a strategy race where you weren't necessarily running the race in the quickest time, but just trying to get track position to get ahead.
You know, you talked a little bit about your place in the championship, and you do have a shot at the title going into the last race of the season. How do you feel about it?
This year in G2, we've obviously had lots of different priorities going on. I mean, it's a good problem to have, to be racing in lots of different championships and against lots of different drivers in top championships on all games. But it has made it hard to get the balance right. And I think in the second half of the year, our pace has really been up there. And I think if you look on balance over those races, I think you'd say that we've probably been as good as anyone. And if we'd have been at that level the whole season, we'd probably be leading the championship in it'd be closer with PRT.
So Isaac, you drive for Fernando Alonso. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like on a day-to-day basis?
The fact that you're in Fernando Alonso's sim racing team, it isn't something that you think about every single day. But then sometimes, you know, when you're doing a race, like in the iRacing World Championship, you're doing a race and you see after the race, or like if I'm spotting for Freddie while he's driving in the first 2 hours of the race, and you're seeing Alonso retweeting what you're doing and even posting his own tweets of him watching the race, you know, as someone who, like me, I actually support Fernando Alonso in Formula 1 even before I joined his team. For someone like me, that's quite surreal, you know. And I mean, Danny, who's our team manager, went to a Formula 1 race at the German Grand Prix, and Fernando went up to him and was talking to him about what we're doing and stuff. And it's a good sign for sim racing in general. I think that it shows that you can make that connection between the game and real life. You know, the competitive instincts are the same, and even a highly competitive driver like Fernando can kind of relate to what we do and take an interest in it in a genuine level, you know? So I think it's definitely and it's obviously also a really huge privilege, because there's lots of people out there who look up to Fernando. I mean, we do as well, you know, and to be picked to be part of his team and to have this opportunity, and obviously as well, we get to go to lots of events around the world to compete for prizes and stuff, and not everyone gets that opportunity.
Isaac, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
All right, well, we've got Mitchell deJong here, and Mitchell, I'm gonna jump right into it. That last pass was really exciting for the win. Can you talk about what it looked like from your perspective?
Yeah, that last stint battle was quite exciting. Before that, right before I got in the car, I was going to be super close out of the pits with the strategy. We're held up by a lapper for, just one lap, and that caused us to be side by side. So once, I saw him exit the pits, we were right there. Knew kind of had my work cut out for me. I was on like 4-lap older tires, and it wasn't a max full stint anyway, so had a lot of work to do, and just try to search for an opportunity. The dirty air is quite bad on those cars, surprisingly there, so made it kind of tough to stay close in a lot of corners. So yeah, just try my best to wait. Finally found an opportunity there, and initially going into the corner, just tried to have a look but scare him a bit. Then I saw he left it open, and I decided to go for it. And well, it had a little bit of drama, but fortunately we were able to both continue through and give us a win.
Yeah, thankfully you guys were both able to continue. Can you talk a little bit about your season as a whole and how things are going over at Kawanda?
It's been quite an up and down season for us, I think. I think early on we were very hopeful with heading into round one. Finally, I think we were feeling positive with the car choice that we kind of made the mistake on last year. But, we seemed to miss something in the setup. Just it never really clicked for us. It started getting better, the second round, and then things kept further developing with all the teams, and we just weren't really developing at the same rate, I would say. So we had some good finishes. I think pretty much all of them were podium finishes besides the first race. Finally we knew we had to find something for, towards the end, because we were continuing to drop further and further behind with points. So we put in a lot of hours for this race. I think between Jeremy, Mac, and I, we put in like a total of 60 driving hours, and it was pretty insane. So even if we didn't win this race, it was pretty exciting just to finally get the car sorted. Being able to finally fight for wins again was pretty amazing. So now we have the opportunity to still win the championship in the end. We have the car figured out now, so that looks good. So coming into it, we're tied with G2 for second place, and we need to basically win, and PRT Red needs to finish fourth for us to take the championship. So yeah, we'll do everything we can. Pretty much the only thing we can control is trying to get that win, so we'll aim for that.
All right, Mitchell, you're involved in multiple World Championship series. You've got so much going on right now. How do you practice? Do you have a certain schedule you stick by?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, all these series is a lot, and they're also different as well. With Rallycross and GT3 and F1, they're all completely different animals. So, obviously the main goal is to get up to speed and make sure you test everything that you'd like to test before the race. So, being a part of a good group of people that we have in Kawanda is very helpful for, staying organized with that. But yeah, it's just, I kind of have a process of preparing for races and getting myself up to speed and whatnot. But yeah, you just need to stick to that and you know, try hard, but not too hard at the same time, and just have fun with it.
All right, Mitchell. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and we wish you all the best in the final round.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so now we're going to take a look at the results for Suzuka round 7 of 8. As you can see, we've got Kawanda number 8 taking home the win, their first of the season. FA Racing G2 comes home second. Pure Racing Team Red recovers to finish third. It could have been a lot worse for that team. And Glacier North was actually able to come home with an 11th place finish, which was really critical to their point situation. Now rounding out the field, we've got 21st through 35th up. And you can see the Williams Jim Jr. team, it looks like they work together really well because they're right there 22nd through 24th. So you'll see that sometimes in this series, you know, with teams working together so closely, they just need to try to improve on their setup a little bit and they'll all three benefit in the same way. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the championship standings. We've got Pure Racing Team Red leading the way, but they have to finish third or better in the final round in order to clinch the championship. As Mitchell stated, VRS or FA Racing needs to win the race and hope that PRT finishes 4th or worse. Now taking a look at the second page, this is where a lot of people are on the edge of their seats. They want to make it back into this series for next year and they don't want to have to go through the Pro Series. So a lot of these guys are going to be practicing really hard for the final round to try to get the best result they can so they can clinch their spot for the 2019 field. And now 41st through 50th. Some of these teams haven't made all the races, so that explains why they're on this page. So looking ahead to our final round of the season, it's going to be a 3-hour race at Silverstone. As you can see, we've had some pretty exciting racing at Silverstone. That guy went for a flip. In 2016, VRS Kawanda SimSport number 18 won in their BMW. In 2017, PRT Red took the win in their Ford GT. So it'll be interesting to see how these top teams adapt to their new cars. Obviously not racing the BMW or the Ford this year. So it'll be interesting to see if they can adjust the setup and how they do in this final round. And in 2017, there was a massive crash at the beginning of the race that took out almost 15 or 20 cars. So you can imagine that these championship contenders are hoping that they qualify really, really well so they stay ahead of any trouble that might break out on the start. All right, I'm super excited for next round, and comment below what you think about Mitchell and Isaac. You know, who was at fault there, and you know, what's your take on it? I want to know in the comments below. Make sure to tune in for the final round of the season. It's going to be on September 1st on iRacing's new eSport channel. So make sure to tune in and looking forward to seeing you there.